Now my iterations is number 2, and in number 2 iterations again you can see d is equal to then previous d value plus 1, means previously it was 1, now it's 1 plus 1 means 2. Now the n value is n by 10, so today we will learn while loop in Java. So before going to the syntax or program, first understand what is loop. So in our for loop class, we already understand loop is nothing but doing some tasks in a repetitive manner. So in Java, there are three type of loops available: for loop, while loop, and do while loop. And today we will learn while loop. Now, if we take this example, so here I have given my name to be printed in 10 times. So what I did, I write system.out.println statement 10 times to print my name 10 times in console. Now if it's 100 times, then we have to write system.out.println 100 times. But that is not the correct way, right? And we know that how many times we have to print my name. It's a 10, or maybe it's 100, or maybe it's thousands. Okay, so we know the exact count how many time I have to print my name. So in our last for loop class we do this type of things to solve this problem. So this is a for loop syntax, and you can see I have initialized a variable I, that is 1, and if I less than 10, that time system.out.println it will print my name. So you can see here 10 I have written, it's in a red color, so I know the count I have to print my name, and based on that it will every time increment I value 1 plus plus, and every time it print Arun. So here it print Arun my name 10 times. Now let's understand, or let's think that if you don't know this count in advance, so then how you can execute your program using loop. And here our while loop concept come in picture. So if we take the definitions of while loop, so it says that while loop is a pretest or entry control loop, and it is used when we don't know the number of iterations in advance. What it means, so just check this underline sentence, don't know the number of iteration. That's mean here we know the number of counts would be 10, but if you don't know the exact count, then you can use while loop. Now there is another two term here, one is called pretest or entry control. Actually while loop is basically called pretest and entry control. Why so? Now if you check this flow, this is basically a while loop flow where my loop start here, then it will first check the condition. If your conditions true, then it will print the statement, or do some logic under that iterations and go for the next iterations. Again it will check the condition, if it's true then again statement, then again go for next iterations, and once these conditions gets false it will end the loop. So you can understand here, my loop start here, and first time it check the conditions. So when it enter these loop iterations, it first check the conditions. So it will check first, then it will execute its statement, and then for the next iteration. That's mean on the entry time I am checking every time. So that's why it is called entry control or pre-test. So before executing these looped iterations, it tests the conditions. So that's why it is called pre-test or entry control loop. Now once this flow of while loop you understand, now let's check the syntax of it. So that's mean our while, then under bracket you have to write the conditions, and here your loop start and then end, and if your condition gets true it will enter on this loop and do your statement. Okay, and once this conditions false, so it will just exit from this loop. So this is the syntax of while loop, where you have to write while keyword, then under bracket your condition, then here your loop start and end, and in between that you can execute your logic. Now take an example to understand how our while loop works. Okay, so let's say you have a number 2579, that is 2579. Now you have to find out what is the number of digit available in this number. So here you can see our number is 2579, and using a program you have to find out how many digits are available there. Okay, similar way user can enter any number and you have to find through your programming how many digits available on that number. Okay, so here our number of digit is 4 digits, right? So how we can create this program? So before going to the Eclipse, let's understand its flow. So this is basically flow to find out the digits of a number. So here n represent the number. Let's say user enter any number and that is captured in n. Then d represent the digit count. So initially we will set digit as 0. Then our loop start here. So that's mean our loop condition is if n the number entered by user is greater than 0, that's mean my conditions is true, then it will just come in this way and it will update d value. Previously it was 0, right? Then it will update d is equal to d plus 1, means 0 plus 1. And again on the same loop it will set the n value. N is equal to n by 10. N means the number user inputted, that divided by 10. Okay, now it will check n value by the divisions and that result go here, and for the next iteration it will check that n the next result value is greater than 0 or not. If again condition true, it will do the same logic and go for the next iterations, and when this logic gets false it will go this way and finally print the d value that was updated by multiple iterations. Okay, so let's check this in a Excel so that you can understand this flow more properly. Now let's say user enter n value as 2597 and we set d value as 0, right? Now our conditions n greater than 0, n means 2579, is it greater than 0? Yes. If it's greater than 0 then it will go to the iterations. So this is my first iterations, right? In our first iteration it first update d is equal to d plus 1. That's mean previously I said d is equal to 0. Now 0 plus 1 means now d is equal to 1. And what is the n value? N is equal to n by 10. That's mean now n is equal to previously 2579. Now it divided by 10. So that's mean my result is 257. This is my first iterations. Now n value is 2257. Now it will check this n value 257 for next iterations and conditions 257 greater than 0. Yes, 257 again greater than 0, so it will go for the next iteration. So that's mean now my iterations is number 2, and in number 2 iterations again you can see d is equal to then previous d value plus 1, means previously it was 1, now it's 1 plus 1 means 2. Now the n value is n by 10. So previously n value is 257. Now if I divided it by 10, so my result is 25. So in my second iterations my d value set as 2 and my n value set as 25. Now n is now 25. It will go for the next iteration, that is basically our third iteration. So now in third iterations if I check n that is basically 25, so 25 greater than 0. Yes, now it will again go here and increment d again by 1. So previously it was 2, then it will say 2 plus 1, that is basically 3. Now my d is 3. And what is n? N is equal to n by 10. So previously it's a 25. Now 25 by 10, that's mean 2. So now my value is come like this. So my first iterations, second iteration and third iterations, its d value is 3 and now n value is 2. Now it will go again here and check is n greater than 0, that's mean 2 greater than 0. Yes, so it will now come to the next iteration. So what is the next iteration? Next iterations mean my iteration number 4. So here again d increment by 1, so 3 previously and now plus 1, that is now d is equal to 4, and previously my n is 2, so now n is equal to 2 by 10, that's mean now its result is 0. So that's mean now my n is set as 0. Now it will go here and check is 0 greater than 0. No, if it's not, then it will print the last d value that was calculated, and last d value is 4. So that's mean here it will print d value. D value means 4. So you can see here d is nothing but digit. So here in this loop considerations or number of iterations, finally we find out that what is the exact value of digit or total digit for this number. So for 2579 my digit count is 4. Okay, so hope you understand the flow. Now let's execute this program in Eclipse. Now I have opened my Eclipse IDE and I have also created a digit in number class under the com.demo.loop package, and this is my main method, and under this I will try to create a same logic that we check in the flow so that we can find out any numbers digit count. Okay, so let me double click here so that it will be more spacious. Now first check this flow. Here first we have to create a variable n and d will be the initial value with 0. So first create a variable int n, then a variable d, and its initial value is 0. Now our aim is to give a print statement so that user can understand what value of n he or she has to fill up, right? So first create a statement system.out.println, enter your number to count digits. Okay, now once user get this statement, he or she will put some value, but before getting or fetch this value, we know that we have to take the help of scanner class, right? So create an instance of scanner class. So this is the syntax to create a scanner class instance, and here you will get a compilation error because we need to import java.util package for this scanner class, right? So I have just double click here and it will automatically import. Now my scanner class instance is ready. Now I have to collect that number from user to n variable. So we can write n is equal to sc dot next in, because it's a integer type, right? So my n value is now collected. Now go to this flow. Now our while loop need to be created, where we have to create a condition if n greater than 0. So to create a while loop, we know the syntax. We have to write while, then conditions we have written in this flow n greater than 0. So just blindly follow the same instructions, n greater than 0, then your loop start here and end here. Okay, now save it using Control S. Now go to this flow. Now you can see here, if it's true, then we have to write these two statements. First we will increment d value by 1. So let's do that. D is equal to d plus 1, and then our next statement, n is equal to n by 10. N is equal to n by 10. The reason why we need to do that we already learned through this Excel, right? That the iterations, how it will work. Okay, so we are just trying to follow the same instruction that is written in this flow. Now my flow is done, and based on our inputted value or user inputted value, it will iterate number of time, and finally once it gets false, that's mean it will exit from this loop and it will print the d value that will be calculated under this loop. So here then we have to create another statement to print the d value. So just create a system.out.println statement and write here number of digit count is equal to, and what is the value we stored under d variable, right? So we will just type here d. So that's mean whatever the value calculated through this number of iterations under this while loop, that will become here. Now our program is ready. So if you check again here, so we have n and d2 variable, we initiate that one. D is initiate with 0, so we set 0 initial value. Now we create a scanner class instance to get the value of n. So once we get the value of n, now the condition n greater than 0, yes, we set n greater than 0. Now under this while loop we are getting two statement, d is equal to d plus 1 and n is equal to n by 10. So we write the same thing here, and finally once the loop exit, then we will print the d value that was calculated under this loop. So we have printed the d value. Okay, now our program is ready. Now we will try to check the same value 2579, will it give 4-digit number or not? Okay, so let double click here, then click on this run button, and it will ask enter the number, okay, to find out the digit count. So it is 2579, right? So 2579 and enter here. So you can see the number count coming here 4. So for 2579 the digit count 4 is coming properly. Let's check another value. So run it again and put any random value, let's say something like this. Okay, so here the number of digit is 1 2 3 4 5 6, right? So enter here, so you can get the exact count is 6. So this way you can create a number count example using while loop. And why we need while loop? Because we don't know how many iterations we exactly need, so that's why we are using here while loop. And for creating any type of this type of program, so if you able to understand or create this type of flow, then you can easily just follow the same instructions and your program will run execute properly without any error, and you will get the exact result that is expected.
I believe this video has helped you to understand about the topic. Thank you for watching. Please do subscribe, click on the bell notifications and select all so that you don't miss any video from this channel.